G'day Bomber fans, it is time. The biggest game of the home and away season is upon us. ANZAC Day at the G in front of 95,000. The Bombers second on the ladder, the Pies third. This is going to be massive. Before we get into the round 6 preview, it's vote times. Here are the vote getters from the Demons win. Mine and yours as always. I love the variety. There are so many different names in the comments, which just meant there were so many different great contributors. I believe I counted 13 or 14 different players named by you guys, which is ridiculous. Shows how good the whole team was really. And here is the overall tally. Sam Draper has come into the mix after his impressive outing in his home state, but it's still the midfield duo leading the way. Keep the votes up though, guys. It's awesome to see this community getting stronger and stronger every week. So Essendon v Collingwood, rival clash, massive game, massive occasion. These are the games where form just does not matter. You can be playing shocking footy but still provide a contest. Luckily for neutrals though, neither side is playing shocking footy. Both are well and truly hot at the moment. Both teams are really fun to watch. They are so quick and so courageous with their ball movement. Both love the run and gun style of halfback. Both move in waves, so at the very least expect some really exciting fast flowing footy. It means we should have what could be a high scoring game. Although this could be fun, I think it can hurt us in a few ways, especially without Zach Merritt, who had his tribunal appeal upheld about 5 minutes before I started recording this video. We are so good to watch with our turnover footy. We have killed opponents when they cough it up, but our efficiency inside 50 relies heavily on the understanding between our mids and our forwards, and realistically our best kick in the team is our captain. He is the one we seek to finish off the play, find the target, and without him, well, it's a big loss for our efficiency. Plus, the Pies are a team clearly happy to allow their opponents to play the way they want to. Collingwood won't try and nullify our rebound game like St Kilda did. In fact, Collingwood are content letting teams play into their own hands because Collingwood back in their own game style over everyone, and it works. It's why they were able to beat St Kilda while letting them play a defensive style like how they wanted. This is both good and bad news for us on a game as hot as ANZAC Day will be. Both teams will be suited to the occasion. There will be intense pressure, lots of gut running, and lots of hard working. We are both hard working sides. That's how we won our recent games. We outworked our opponents, but you look at the teams on paper and you look at the big game experience, and frankly, we lack it and they don't. They are a more mature team, and the players that aren't as mature play in pressure-based roles. They thrive off games like this. It's why Ginnivan tore us apart last time. I can see him or others doing the same again. The good news for us is that they are without Taylor Adams, probably. His appeal occurs after this recording, and I can only assume if Merritt is upheld, his will be too. He had a similar tackle to Merritt that he got suspended for, but he has been really underrated this year in my opinion. He isn't a ball winner like he once was, but his role is undervalued and he adds a level experienced head. Merritt is still a much bigger loss though. The Pies will also be without Nathan Murphy. He enters concussion protocols, and we will most likely be with Sam Wiedemann, who exits them. I feel like that would have been a direct matchup, but now Wiedemann will play on a second string back. That is, again, if his head is right. He obviously had a concussion against the Giants with a nasty head knock. It does give us a slight advantage in our forward line, which has been firing. We are a high scoring team now, and we are doing it without the usual suspects. We kicked over 100 against the Ds without Wright, Tippin, Woody or Wiedemann, and Stringer only managed one major, so I'm really excited to see how we go with Wiedemann back and hopefully playing well. When Stringer, who loves the big occasion, we have clearer avenues to goals than we did against the Ds. But what I and you guys should be licking your lips at is the ruck battle. We obliterated All-Australian ruckman Brodie Grundy last week. He was good in attack but useless in defence, which is why Draper and Phillips combined for the 5 majors. The good news is Collingwood don't really have a pronounced ruckman. Draper and Phillips will be going up against Billy Frampton, I think, which is I am excited for. I think they need to have massive games if we want to win. They can really work him around. Frampton's really inexperienced, and I think that's how we win, with a big presence like Draper or Phillips playing well up forward and behind the ball. They have been so good at helping us in attack, but what goes unnoticed is the hard running they do to drop back. When you see teams on TV slowing the play down, it's because we often have one of our rucks positioned perfectly in defence for that down the line kick. They are going to be vital for our chances of winning. Another area I am really interested in is our defence. We are one of the poorest sides at defending teams transitioning from defence to attack, which is exactly what the Pies love to do, but we are one of the best sides at defending inside the arc. Ridley, Kelly, Laverty, BZT, these players have been rock solid. They haven't been losing many contests at all. It helps with our system that allows us to have more numbers back behind the ball. Durham is one that works incredibly hard back in defence, but as a team we are now fairly solid, which is why we have the third lowest points against, one ahead of the Pies. I think centre clearances are also going to be crucial for us, not just defending them, which I speak about a lot here on this channel, but scoring from there. We showed how good we can be in that third quarter against the Ds with centre clearances. We are actually the 5th best ranked team for that stat, just a bit ahead of Collingwood, but without Merritt, I think it's crucial we try and get on top here, I should say, as much as possible. The thing about Brad Scott is that he isn't one to try new things mid-game. Parrish, Merritt, Setterfield and Shield have all been in around 100 centre bounces. The next best after that is Jai Caldwell, who has been in 6. So without Merritt, we are going to be setting up very differently to how we usually do. I don't think people understand how different this team plays to how it did under Rutten. We genuinely only really have 3 to 4 main midfielders inside the centre square now, so with one missing, it's going to be hard to see how we can effectively replace them. That is why Scott's system is both good and bad. He did this at North. If you have players to rely on at every centre bounce, you know exactly what to expect. They become so familiar with one another and can read each other much better than if it was being shaken up like what happened with Rutten and even Worsfold. But with this comes the risk of an injury, or in this case, suspension, derailing things a bit, so Merritt is a massive loss in this regard. Speaking of our captain, I should touch on the possible team news. We obviously have Merritt on the way out, possibly BZT and Jones, depending on how well they pull up. They were a bit sore after the Melbourne game. It is a Tuesday game though, so they have a bit of time in between. Merritt should go out for Hobbs. Hobbs is due a game, and I think we will see him play one, while Wiedemann should come in either for an injured Jones, or maybe, if we did want height, for a struggling Menzies, now that Snelling is back in that forward line playing well. For them, Taylor Adams is suspended, Nathan Murphy is concussed, and I believe Dan McStay is also injured. Nathan Kruger is probably a little bit underdone to come back in to help with their tool stocks if Dan McStay is injured. Finlay McRae has been good in the VFL, along with Josh Carmichael and Will Kelly. Danger players for the Pies, that Nick Dacos kid can play. I could see Will Snelling try to run with him a bit off the half back line for Dacos, that is. His tackling pressure could maybe help reduce Dacos' efficiency. He is going to spark a lot of their plays. His brother Josh is another I am worried about. He is a hugely underrated wingman in the comp, so Durham will need to keep him quiet at times with his defensive pressure. Darcy Moore will be a worry, I think. I reckon he could clunk a few down back with our makeshift forward line, and their smaller forwards just love playing against us historically. Elliott, Ginnivan, even Bobby Hill's worries, who our attacking defenders need to not get as lost as they have in the past with them. Try and keep those guys quiet. Honestly, guys, I think the Pies get the job done, but I think we are a very good chance. I just think looking at their experience in the areas that matter most with a fresh to-goey and with our lack of merit, it should be a win. And if it isn't, the Pies will be bitterly disappointed. They have the upper hand heading into the game. I think they get the job done by 15 points. So that is that. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to keep up to date with everything Essendon. Also, guys, I will probably be a bit late with the match review next week. It'll probably be released on the Wednesday night or Thursday morning, because I'm actually flying over to Melbourne from Adelaide to catch the game. Happy days for me. It also means that the match preview will probably be a day later as well, which comes with the, I guess, interesting fixture that we have with these ANZAC Day games plonked midweek. But thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Go Bombers.